Well, hello everyone, and welcome to week 3 of my life as a CTC cadet pilot vlog. It's Sunday as usual, and time to review what's gone on in the past week. So, we've continued with general navigation. We've finished off our charts, so we've covered off grid navigation, polar stereographics, Lambert projections, Mercator projections, quite a few of them, quite a bit in that. Lots of formulas to remember. Filled up my book again. We've moved on to the CRP5 section of general navigation. For those of you who aren't into aviation or don't have a PPL or anything like that, I'll show you what a CRP5 looks like. So I've got it here. Here it is. Two sides to it, and well, because I've already got a PPL, I already know how most of it works, although there was a couple of things, new things that I have learnt about it, so it has been useful, and it's been quite a while since I've used most of the CRP5 features, so it's quite nice to go over all of that. Thankfully I remembered most of it. So in the lessons that we've done this week in Gen Nav, we've mostly been using this side of it, so mostly things like speed and distance, converting units such as kilometres, litres. That's right, this can actually convert from a volume to a weight. So for example, if we have like 100 kilograms of water, I know that specific gravity of water is 1 or there or thereabouts. So 100 kilograms of water is roughly about 100 litres, although we're not dealing with water, we're generally dealing with fuel, which usually has a specific gravity of somewhere between 0.75 and 0.85. So it can vary a little bit, but yeah, lots of conversions to remember, because this doesn't do all the work for you. You still have to remember roughly what you have to do with it. You can also work out, well, one of the new things that was covered actually was something called compression correction. Now this was something I hadn't encountered before, because you only apply it when you go above 300 knots true airspeed. So I've been flying Cessna 152s, which have a maximum indicated airspeed of 160 knots, and if you're very lucky you might be able to get out to 8 or 10,000 feet. So chance of you having a true airspeed or TAS of above 300 knots is just not going to happen. So that was something new for me. And another thing is how to convert from indicated temperature to a calibrated temperature, because if you go very fast, the friction on your thermometer will actually generate heat. So say for example you're doing 300 knots roughly, your indicated air temperature will be overridden by about 9 degrees, which can make a huge difference in your true airspeed. I mean, I did a question earlier, I think it was something like 30 knots difference, so it makes a difference, but again, it's something I've not encountered flying light aircraft, because we cruise around doing about 90, 100 knots, which according to this gives an indicated air temperature difference of 1. Not really worth worrying about. So that's been Gen Nav. We actually had our introduction to mass and balance this week as well. Mass and balance is actually quite a small topic. We're expecting to have it finished in 3 days. We did 2 days this week, and we're doing 1 day next week, and then just before our exams we'll be doing 1 more day, and that'll be revision things. So the whole thing, including revision time, is going to be done in 4 whole days. And again, it's not mathematically difficult, it's just a lot to remember. I mean, again, this is something I've encountered before, doing mass and balance, but obviously in Cessna 152, as I said last week, the only weights you've got to worry about is the aircraft, yourself, your passenger, maybe a flight bag or some souvenirs from the continent, and fuel. Whereas on, take like an Airbus A320 for example, you've got to worry about multiple different positions of these items. So passengers, you'll have different positions that these come into. You've got to estimate how much these passengers weigh, Is it a budget airline flight where people are going to be bringing as much as possible in hand luggage, or is it going to be a long haul flight where most of the way it's going to be going into the cargo hold? I say cargo hold, there's actually usually more than one on each aircraft, so another thing is each of those cargo holds are divided into subsections which each have a centre of gravity, which we have to calculate everything for. So we have these great big load sheets that tell us all the different weights and positions of items, and we have to work out where the centre of gravity is and is it within the limits of the aircraft, because if it's out of limits, we've been shown a few videos on what happens when it does, and it doesn't end well. So that's been mass and balance for this week, and GenNav. So next week is going to be week 4. It's actually going to be more of the same. It's going to be GenNav and mass and balance, but obviously only one day of mass and balance. We're going to be polishing that off, so hopefully we should be alright with that. GenNav, we're going to be doing some more CRP5. Get the feeling we're going to be using this side a bit more on that coming up next week. I'm actually just looking up at my bookshelf because there is something that's going to be used, and that's the Jeppesen Airways manual. I'm not going to get it down because it weighs an absolute ton. It's about that thick, and it is full of airways charts. Yeah, it is actually affecting my performance of my car when we have 4 of those loaded up in the back, so yeah, it's quite daunting at first, but I think it's going to be one of those things, once it's broken down into what we need and what we don't need, I think it's going to be quite easy to use. So, as you can probably tell, this video has been filmed in the evening, and it's Sunday. I spent the whole day studying, writing up notes, as a matter of fact. Sling that over there. Grab my notes. Don't know if you can see this, but that's human performance. That's GenNav. Still got a little bit to write up. Mass and balance is just a pile of notes in the corner over there. You don't want to see that because my writing during lessons isn't the clearest thing in the world, which is why I have to write everything up in neat. So I hope you enjoyed week 3 of my Life as a CTC Cadet Pilot vlog. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of these, feel free to subscribe. Don't happen to my voice then, just went a bit. Anyway, so like, subscribe, know someone that's interested, feel free to share it, and yeah, I will see you next week.